Hi everyone. Here's today's topic is gaming for a better world because actually I'm Chen from Fourdesire, and Fourdesire is indie game studio. Just have 2 years experience in game developing, and we only have 17 team members, and we already have 2 products online, and we already got 5 million user downloads. And I want to give you a topic about gaming for a better world is because we are creating games to solve the problem in the real life, which means I'm going to sharing my experience in Fourdesire in the last year and what we want to do in the next year. And currently, as I mentioned, we have 2 products online. So it's called Plant Nanny, it's in the right-hand side, and the Walkr is on the left-hand side. And Plant Nanny is both of them are actually happy developing games. And Plant Nanny is a water reminding game to help people drink water more regularly. And the Walkr is giving a motivation to help you do more exercise in the real life. And both of them are winning a title of Best of 2014 and 2013 in the App Store, and we already have over 5 million users. And actually, the Fourdesire story about us is is a little bit dramatic. It's because we came into the game industry really by accident. Fourdesire, in the 4 years ago, Fourdesire is found by me and 2 of my best friends as a production firm, which means our main business is collaborate with our client to building the online marketing campaign. So this is one of my favorite campaigns we have done before. It is called Beer Hunter. Beer Hunter is a campaign building with our client is from Taiwan Tobacco and Liquor Corporation. In 4 years ago, the company just have a new product online, it's a beer. So he found us to helping us to making a game to helping them marketing their new beer. So Beer Hunter finally come out. If you have a game, you can use the game to locate to find the shop in the Taipei and find a new beer, and you can make a check-in. You can get the elements, and after you get so many elements, you can use the generator inside the game to bake the element into a batch. And finally, you can use the batch to change the batch into the real beer. And the result is very awesome because we got over 100,000 user downloads in the first 1 week. So as an advert game is a very, very amazing number. So we think that maybe we can use this kind of strategy to making some games to solve some problem in the real life. And every designer knows that there is 4 simple elements in the simple game. There is a score, there's a rule, there's a strategy, there's a competitors. But there is a majority of game designers are reluctant to admit this. Hey, these 4 elements also make our life, but our life is really boring, right? And if you have ever experienced, I think everybody is experienced an entrance exam. So we know that an entrance exam is also composed with the few elements as we described above. The goal is the score you need to get as high as possible, and the rule is the syllabus under the examination, and the strategy is how do you prepare for your exam, and finally is the competitor is just your friends or your classmates sitting next to you. So, but I think I dare to say that there's nobody sitting here feel the entrance exam is very interesting, yeah. So, or no one of you will join the gaming industry right now. So, but let's take a look. Let's say if uncle living next to you one day just break into your house and punch you several times and drive off with your car, anyone will feel this any interesting? I believe it's not. So we just realized that having a thing and being interesting are totally 2 different things in our life. Having a thing, if a thing is boring, not necessarily that the game will be boring at all. So we can find something solution for our real life. And it is mainly because if a game is being interesting, it is mainly because the game element inside the game and the proper management of the length of the game will become interesting. So let's take a look at our product. It's Walkr. So the core mechanism of Walkr is the pedometer. So the core is actually the core game mechanism. The Walkr, the player will walk and get more energy. But if you just got energy, the game is still boring because if you're just providing a leaderboard on the game, you will just walk more. And I would say I walked yesterday maybe 1,000 steps, or you walk for 10,000. It's totally not interesting. So we need to find the right mechanism and metasphere for the pedometer. And in this game, we need to make the energy more useful. In Walkr, the energy is to fuel the spaceship. So if you got more energy, your spaceship can fall far away to discover a new planet in your phone. So after that, after the total metasphere chain, we can find the connection between the pedometer and the planet discovering. So finally, the game has a little bit fun and the motivation. We are going to find the motivation of walking. So now the motivation of walking is revealed. If you walk more, you can discover the new planets. So I'm thinking about maybe we can combine with some lifestyle features with the game, because there's no category called lifestyle game in the, I don't know Android as well, but there's no lifestyle game category in the iOS version. So maybe we can discuss more about the lifestyle plus the game in practice right now. So if you are running a lifestyle game, you need to consider your game as a service, because in the traditional game publishing system, we have two very different roles. It's called developers and publishers, right? But developers are as developers we are very familiar with only taking care in developing games. But as if you are developing a lifestyle game, you need to know that we are making some relationship between our users and our players. So we can not just let the publisher to worry about the marketing, the publishing, the sales, and the supporting, and the user supporting. So if you consider your game as a service, and we also can iterate our game very, very, very fast, we can still learn a lot from our users and make some modification and release a new version very fast. So let's take a look at our example. For instance, we have in the very early version of Walkr, the reward of upgrading the level of the plants is just increasing the galaxy population. But after 1 month, we release the game. I think it's totally not enough, because there is no motivation of the player will upgrade your planets. So we have a lot of email from our users. They want a different layout, they want a different looks from the planets after they are upgrading. So we decide to make a change. Our new design is if you're upgrading your planets, you will got the king after the level 4, and you got a queen after the level 6, and you will got the legendary building after level 7. So this is the benefit from if you publish in your game by yourself and consider this as a service. You need to talk directly with your users. And another important feature that we design is a series of the planets based on different festivals and in different cultures. So every month, player will discover a special planet. For instance, in February, you will got a planet is called Tomb Mountain, is for celebrating the Valentine's Day, and in May you will got the housework factory for celebrating the Mother's Day. So also we celebrating almost every festival with our players, like a Labor Day. You will say the reason is we need to keep our players their players' loyalty. So talking about pedometers, I want to talk about how hard to developing a games to combine some gaming features with lifestyle feature. In Walkr, the core mechanism is the pedometer, right? So which means the pedometer we need to run in the foreground and background 24/7. You cannot stop it, but if you stop it, the player will complain that I walked yesterday 1,000 steps, but you just give me 10. So they will keep complaining. And because you are running the pedometer in the background, so it means that the game cannot be crashed in the background. There are so many game crash in the background, but you didn't know, because after you launch it, you will start it. But if you're building a lifestyle game combined with a pedometer, you need to handle all the crashing issues in the background in the foreground. And the third problem is the battery usage, because if you're developing your own step counting algorithm, there are a very important dilemma, is the accuracy or efficiency. Because if you want to supporting the very accuracy way, you need to use a lot of battery to increase it. So our solution is we spend about 2 months on developing the pedometer algorithm. Yeah, thank you. To help us reduce the battery usage. And finally, we got a M7 and M8 preprocessor for us to running the step counting mechanism in background, only in iOS. So if you are running a lifestyle game, our players are divided into the following three categories. First, the mid-core players. The mid-core players like to study the game content, making a list of the upgrading requirement for each planet, or posting their findings on the internet and release as a reference tool for other people. And second, we got the casual players. Casual players enjoy the fun of the walking and discovering of planets. They like collecting something. And third, we got the users. This is more important and unusual because the users are not even the players. They are not very good at playing games, but they like the inherent value behind the game. They like work more and get more energy to help them doing more things. Thus, so in order to target this different category of our users, we need to make different mechanisms for them to play. So we can discuss from users. There are so many users only playing Walkr just because in the entertainment pedometer features. So we need to keep the pedometer function as simple as possible to let them to use. They can browse their step counting daily very easy, and they can browse their daily activity in the history board. So this is a part you need to keep. And the second is we got the casual players, right? So we prepare a lot of planets waiting for them to discover, and they are enjoying with the encourage and interact with their friends and competing them with the leaderboard. And third is a mid-core player. Again, we'll have so many mid-core players. And the players love to dig into the smallest details, so we provide a satellite feature. The satellite feature means that if you're already discovering a planet, you will discover satellites at the same time. But satellite is not match the planets, so you need to spend time to figure out which satellites match which planets to maximize the resource production. This is specifically designed for the middle core players. And compared to the traditional game, lifestyle game have an additional group of users, right? So moreover, the nature of the game means that it is likely to be open in some unusual scenarios. Like the player is walking on the park, a player is running on the lakeside, something like that. So we need to optimize the usability of the Walkr. So consider this graphic. There is if you are using one hand holding your iPhone, so you can know that there is the button is the green area is very easy to touch, and the lighter area is more harder, and the yellow area is the hardest touch area. So we need to have a lot of user tests to figure out that we need to put the main interface on the button and put the game information on the upper side to help them use more easily. Okay, so in 2012 there is the indie developer, I think, released a chart to explain the importance of month-on-month, especially in the casual game category. So we need to talk about how do we expand our lifestyle game. We ask ourselves why the players will recommend our game. Just like the motivation part we mentioned before, consider the share is the goal we want the players to achieve. So what is good mechanism and metaphor for it? First, so we need to understand the chart show the different type of channel we can operate. So in the left-hand side, we got a real-life recommendation. It's a very strong action because some real loyal players will force their friends to install your game without any reason. And in the right-hand side is the most permanent because if some mid-core players post their findings on the internet, they will remain for a very long time on the internet. So the co-piloting system is designed for this. And co-piloting system means that if I can invite one of my friends become my co-pilot, if he walk, I can get energy as well. So there's two design phase we consider we have two design factors we consider. The one is the encourage between players is more powerful than given by mechanism. So if you help them to build out a great relationship, they will help you to keep the retention rate of the game. And the second is players want to invite their friends to get more energy. So it will encourage more invitation on the internet. And the third is the deep localization content. Because you're running the game by yourself, so the Walkr is already support 11 languages. And there is a chatting dashboard on the game. It's just like alien murmur. It's just like saying something like don't parking your spaceship in my yard or something. And we also provide some deep localized content. It means, just like the first sentence, have you heard a science teacher today? I think it's an American joke, but I totally don't understand what it means. And yeah, and in Topside 2, how我们做朋友吧 is a very usually common in China. So you need to deep localize it because player will share the content on their social media. As many developers know, as long as we retain the player, we get higher output, right? So for this reason, there are so many developers are discussing about how to increase our user retention rate. So if we find a solution to combine our game with everything with our everyday life, just think of it. How many times, if you are using an alarm clock, how many times you use it at one day? At least one time, right, to wake you up. So in the same token, Plant Nanny as a happy developing games will be open 4 times at least one day, in one day. So it is a great chance to keep the user retention rate. And this is because the player understands clearly that their motive to starting a game is to be reminded and to open the game every day. So this is the advantage of if you combine your game with the lifestyle features. And once the habits has been formed, it will become a very long-standing dependency with your game and your players. And also in Walkr, we developing some is called now extension for only iOS, because it's a lifestyle game. So it's not only feature in the game, it's also outside the game into the daily life. So the extension help you to just pull down the dashboard, put down the notification board, and see how many energy you earn today and how far is the next planets. And finally, we are supporting Apple Watch. So if you want to making a game, making a lifestyle game, you just need to follow the 4 steps. Just find a goal. Usually don't have the motivation, like fitness. People always want to go on a diet, but they don't. And the second step is to find the game mechanism to create the motivation which loosed. And the third is find a metaphor to combine the motivation and the mechanism. And fourth is just what we can do very well is just make a game. So I think maybe it's a great time to have a new category called lifestyle game in the App Store, because there is very important to using games to solving the problem in real life, just as our company's logo, right? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Is there any question?